Which side are you on? This is the Daily Dozen, presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome to the Daily Dozen. My name is Jason Gold. I am joined by Steph Smalls, and we are here to talk about Game 1 of the 2022 NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. We have a great slate of 12 props live right now. And on top of that, if you join us for this slate and follow the rest of the rules that are on our Instagram page, you will be entered to win a Giannis signed jersey. So why not come play 12 props? Come gamble with us at Champions Round. Go enter the Daily Dozen right now. Steph, how you doing this Thursday?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I feel like there's, the Rangers won last night. NBA Finals are tonight. So far, Memorial looks good with golf. Things are good. I did pretty well in baseball yesterday, so I'm in a good place. I'm excited for this series.
I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. I feel like this is going to be a all-time NBA Finals. You got the young upstart and the Celtics, and you have the old Grizzly vets with the Warriors going for their fourth championship. Really, really exciting stuff. Looking at the odds at BetMGM right now, Warriors are minus 3.5 for the game tonight. Total set at 213.5. Money lines, Warriors minus 165. Boston plus 140 for the series in general. Warriors are minus 160 to win the series. Celtics coming back at plus 130. What do you think? What's your general overview of what you think is going to happen in Game 1 tonight?
I hate that everyone is just making this. Well, I love the narrative, but I hate that everyone's on it, that the Warriors are going to win. It's their time, and it's Steph Curry's time, and he's going to play like the fantastic player that he is finally in the playoffs. But I think the Celtics are going to put up a good fight. These two are the best defense in the NBA, so I see this being a good series. I don't see this being out in 5. I think that it'll probably go through to 7. I want to lean the Celtics because that's the kind of brat that I am when it comes to these type of things, when everyone is on one side. All the analysts that I've listened to, everyone's full on the Warriors, but the computers like the Celtics more, so it's interesting. I am probably going to stay away. If the Warriors win tonight, I spread some money on the Celtics, and I kick myself for not doing that at some point. But I think in the end, the Warriors are the more experienced team, and I see them pulling it out.
So I'm kind of on the same bandwagon. I believe that the Celtics are a better team right now, but they have not been to the NBA Finals. You look at this Warriors team has been to, this is number 7 for them, and 6 for them. They're just so experienced. They know exactly how to play. I feel like this is Curry's last run. And those games 6 and 7, the way that Boston played against Miami, especially the last 5 minutes that collapsed, you can't do that against Golden State. They're so well coached. I have to lean the Warriors. I'm also a Lakers diehard through and through, so I have to do fuck Boston. That's just it. I was born with that in my soul. So
yeah, I'm a New York fan. I know, and that's the thing. Like, I was deciding, and look, my camera was doing this yesterday. When I was thinking about the game yesterday, I'm like, God, but I can't. Like, I just cannot on these guys. So how do I pop out the suffix in a second? But yeah, I would love for Boston to lose, unfortunately.
Yeah, I dislike San Francisco immensely, but the fact that I have to root for San Francisco over Boston tells you how much I hate the Celtics. So, anyways, 12 props on the board for Daily Dozen. Why don't we jump right into it? Let's switch the background. Let's get this on. Let's talk about some gambling. Why don't we? First one on the board, Jaden, points, 28.5. What do you got?
I have the under here. Versus the Warriors, 26.5. Playoffs, 27. He went over in 1 of the last 3, 2 of the last 5. And when he did go over, that was at home. So I am going to stick with the under here. They didn't get as much rest, and 28.5 is a little bit steep for me.
Yeah, so it's interesting that he was the prop that was 27.5 points generally through the series in Miami. So they upped it a point. I get that they expect it to be a little bit faster here. I'm not necessarily sure that all of those points are going to come from Tatum. Steve Kerr is going to do a great job of trying to get the ball out of his hands and to make him more of a facilitator, I believe. So His over hit, you said 2 of the last 5. I have 2 of the last 6 down here, regardless, not hitting it all that often. 3 of the last 8. I am also going to take the under on 28.5 tonight in game 1. All right, number 2 on the board. Steph Curry total made 3-pointers, 3.5.
And this is where everyone's not going to be happy with me. I am going to stick with Steph Curry not being as fantastic of a player when it comes to the playoffs. And a lot of this is going to come, I think a lot of this series actually, strangely enough, someone that's on my we don't bet ever list, Marcus Smart. He can lock up Steph Curry unlike anyone else. I don't know if you've seen this stat yet. So the total points that Steph Curry has had when defended by Marcus Smart in the last 5 seasons in 6 games is 30 points. He's kind of his kryptonite a little bit. So it's going to depend how healthy he is and how Marcus Smart performs. He's had 2 in each of the last 2 games. I leaned the under last night, and you can also get that for plus money right now on FanDuel. I'm leaning the over now because I think that if he does get involved in the game, it's going to be with 3-point. I'm going to go over. I'm switching my answer because I'm going to give Steph Curry a little bit of love. But as far as his other props, I'm on the under in them.
Okay, so yes, I wasn't exactly aware of that exact stat. That's a great one. But I do know that no one defends Steph Curry like Marcus Smart. He is definitely like Tony Allen used to be for Kobe. Like, that's the guy that you want to send of anyone in the league at Steph Curry. Also, in the season, the reason that Steph Curry was out for 20 games at the end of the year was because of Marcus Smart and a quote-unquote dirty play that Steve Kerr called it. I don't know if it was or wasn't, but Steve Kerr said it was, so we're going to go with Steve Kerr saying that it was. There's a revenge factor in this series for Steph Curry versus Marcus Smart. I don't know when it comes out, but there will be a game where he torches Marcus Smart, and we're going to hear about it. I don't think that it happens in game 1. I do think that the Celtics play Steph Curry better than almost anyone in the league. I think it's going to take some adjustment time for the Warriors to figure out exactly how they want to attack the Celtics defense with Steph Curry. Therefore, I'm going to take the under 3.5 on the 3-point field goals made tonight by Steph Curry. Now I want to go
back to my under.
So go to your under. You haven't submitted your pick yet.
Under. I put it in, and it was nice that I was able to do these last night because I always forget to put my NBA parlays together. So last night I already made a couple, and I'm happy because I didn't get to look. I'm sure all these numbers have shifted already. So I'm going to stick with the under as well.
You were in the lab last night creating
I was in the lab, and now I'm like very addicted to these like NHL, and now this show has got me in MLB more than I needed, the bank account needed. So I was up till like 4 a.m. having a blast tearing apart FanDuel. So it was good times.
I love it. All right. Prop number 3 here. Draymond Green, total rebounds 6.5. He had under in his last 4 games. He went under this total. However, from what I've read about what the Warriors want to do against the Celtics in the series, they're going to go very small. Like I when we get to Kevin Looney later, I'll explain this a little bit further. But if they're going to go small and they're going to use Draymond kind of as this stretch 4 or even at the 5 at some points with Poole and Wiggins on the court with Clay and Steph, I think that you're going to see total rebounds go up for Draymond in the series. I think 6.5 is a little low. I think by the time we get into the series a little bit, we're going to start seeing some 7.5s, maybe some 8.5s at some point if they go really, really small. So I'm going to take the over and say that this line is a little off based on the books not quite understanding how small the Warriors are going to go in this series.
Yes. And FanDuel actually had that number. I'm not sure if it's moved yet, but it was at 7.5, minus 120 early at the ass crack of dawn when I was looking. With that 7.5, I definitely am all in on the under. I think it's kind of a little bit of a shot in the dark with the over. I'm still maybe leaning the under, but will take the over with that 6.5, just because of the reason you've said. And he's been averaging about 6.9 in the playoffs. And even his career playoffs, his rebounds are always, that number is all the way up there at like a little bit over 9. So I'll lean into him this game, and I think the books will, even out there with FanDuel's number, because I think 7.5 is a number that makes a little bit more sense for him.
Yes, I'm looking at BetMGM right now. Their odds on Draymond Green rebounds 7.5. Overs plus 110. Under is minus 150. So not surprised to see that number go up and juice towards the under here. I think 7 is a reasonable number for this to land on. So in our game, I would suggest taking the over. All right, let's move on to number 4. Derek White, total assists 2.5. What are you thinking?
Over. I don't think that you're asking for him to do a lot here. He's gone over this number in 3 of his last 4 games, averaging about 2.8 in the playoffs. This number is also down from what he was doing in the regular season on the road, averaging 4.2. So I'm pretty all in on this over. There's nothing about this that makes me that screams take the under, especially with a number this low.
So I have the over also. He's over in 8 of 11 games in which he's played 20 or more minutes in the playoffs. I believe that, again, I think that both sides are going to end up going small. That means less Grant Williams minutes, more Derek White minutes. So if he gets over 20, this over 2.5 is pretty much, 8-3. I'm going to call that close to a lock. So let's go make some money and bet some Derek White's over and move on from there. All right, number 5 on the board. Al Horford, total rebounds, 8.5. What are you thinking?
Oh, gosh. Where is it? You go first. I think I skipped this one for some reason. I always manage to do that with one of them.
Oh, there's 12. There's a lot on the board. He's been over in 4 of his last 5. If Golden State goes small, he's going to have a big rebound advantage. I do think that Al Horford's probably the one big that's going to have a big impact in this series. They probably go away from Grant Williams, probably Robert Williams a little bit as we go on in the series. Right. So I am going to go for the over on Horford rebounds tonight.
Over. Okay. I can get in on that. Averaging 9.6 in the playoffs here. Just like you said, what he's been doing the last couple games. I think that, this defense is going to get really involved this game to try to keep the Warriors away from the win or completely demolishing them. And I think that he should play a very big part in that. So I'm with you on the over there.
And I will also follow the juice on this. So BetMGM over 8.5 is minus 145. So you can follow the juice here a little bit and get a little bit of an advantage in our game mode, which I'm not supposed to tell you, but don't tell them I sent you. But you can make some money off us doing this. All right, number 6 on the board, Andrew Wiggins, total points 16.5. I'm going to go another over on this one. The reason being, the Celtics are going to switch a lot. That's how they like playing defense against the Warriors. They're going to sell out on everything versus Steph and Clay, most likely. The guy who's going to benefit the most when the Celtics switch, especially if Draymond Green has the ball, is a lot of back cuts to Andrew Wiggins. He's going to get a lot of easy baskets in this series if the Warriors are playing the sort of ball that they're used to playing. So I will go for the over in this one. So
originally last night, I was on the under here. I have changed my mind. The one time that he did play against them, he had 27 points. I think, he's gone over, he's 6-3 in this over the last 9. And, his last 3, 18, 13, 27. I think it's fair to take the over here. I know FanDuel actually has it at 15.5. That I did smash in some of my parlays. But I'm comfortable taking the over here.
All right. Number 7, Grant Williams, total points 7.5. I'm on an under here. He's under in the last 3 of the last 4. And I think they're going to go small. And I think Grant Williams is going to find himself out of the rotation for most of the series, specifically in game 1, as they try to establish what they want to do. So give me the under.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. I think this is just a little bit too high for him on the road, averaging 3.9. He's only gone over this number in 2 of his last 5 games. Not a fan. For me, it wasn't difficult to pick the under. All right,
next one on the board. Jaylen Brown, total made 3-pointer, 2.5. What are you thinking?
I have the under here. He's only gone over this in 1 of the last 4. And, just his points alone in playoffs, 22.9. I'm leaning the under. I think that this is where, and I don't know, we didn't talk about it yet, how you feel about even the game total here. I stayed away from it because I can't figure out which direction I think this is going to go. This is more of a gutsy call. I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, so I generally think that 213.5, they're probably skewing this a little bit lower because of how good the Celtics are defensively. These are the number 2 and 4 ranked defensive teams in the entire NBA. So I think they're thinking that it's going to be an under. However, usually game ones of series are a little bit more open and they become more of a rock fight as you go on. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them moving up and down the court, trying to establish what they want to do offensively, and then reacting defensively as the series goes along. So, I'm doing a podcast with Dan Titus later today at 12 p.m. Pacific. He'll have a better answer on where he thinks the over-under should be based on some historical trends or whatever. But my general thinking right now is I lean a little bit towards the over because I think the pace of play will be a little bit higher. So that being said, I think Jaylen Brown over 2.5 made 3-pointers tonight. And I'm doing this just based on how many threes he attempted against the Warriors in the 2 games this year. He attempted 7 and 8. That volume is pretty high for him to only have to make 3 of 7, 3 of 8. Seems like something that's going to be realistic tonight. So I'll take the over in this free-flowing game. But, these are 2 really good defensive teams. If they go lockdown early, I would expect this probably to lean towards the under. Also, looking at BetMGM odds right now, Jaylen Brown over 2.5 3-pointers tonight, minus 140. The under is plus 105. So, again, following the juice a little bit on this one. All right, we got 4 more left on the board. Jordan Poole, total points, 15.5. What are you thinking?
I'm taking the over here. You can get plus money on that on FanDuel. His playtime has been very consistent the last 5. He hasn't gone over on the road, but he's over in 3 of the last 5, and all of those were at home. So I'm going to lean into that narrative a little bit in the playoffs, averaging 18.4. He's also doing pretty good with his 3-pointers, so I will take the over.
Okay, so I am also with you on the over. And an interesting stat that I found in my research last night. Games 1 through 3 in the playoffs, in the 3 series, he's averaging 24 points per game. Why? Because of what I was talking about earlier. Early in the series, free-flowing offense, the defense haven't adjusted yet, and that's where Poole really succeeds, apparently, looks like, in this offense for the Warriors before teams adjust. So if the Celtics are going to come in with a plan, let's stop Curry, let's stop Clay. Again, I think it could be Wiggins and Poole as the giant beneficiaries, especially if the Warriors go as small as I think they're going to. So I'll take the over as well. Number 10 on the board, Kevon Looney, total rebounds 9.5. I'm taking the under here. This is a smash. This might be my favorite prop on the board in our Daily Dozen game for a very specific reason. I think they're going to go small. I think Looney comes out of the lineup despite how good he's been in the playoffs. Unless they really need him to play defense against Al Horford, I don't think there's much reason to play him more than 20, 25 minutes a game. So I'll take the under 9.5 here.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to hone in on that, 18 last game. He's had double-digit numbers in 3 of the last 4, but I don't know how much of this is just that the Mavs series was kind of set up for him to do this. So exactly. I'm not sure that I don't know that he's going to be able to repeat this I just don't see it happening. So I am going to take the under as well. As much as it's tempting, he might be a guy that I'd rather look into some of his combos and see if there's a number that I like better that could maybe compensate for where he may not have that high rebound number as we've seen. So I'm with you on that. I'm following the under.
All right. Number 11, the small special. Had to throw this one in there. Klay Thompson, total steals, 0.5. Small special, what do you got?
First of all, I'm just going to say a lot of the small specials did very well yesterday, just so everyone knows. They're a blast, and now I'm just making parlays at this rate just on these over half props. And it makes me miss football season. But besides for that, obviously going to take the over. Once again, just has to happen once. He's had a total of 3 over the last 2 games. He's averaging just over a half in his last 5. I mean, it's not. It's just special. One, right? It's just one. That's all we need, right? Give us something. Klay Thompson, you can do it. I believe in you. Just one.
You know what? It's a small special. You got to do it. I actually had written on here last night. I was like, I'm fading the small special. I got to go under? No. We never fade the small special. We always smash the over. So
like I write now small special over and then I'll put logic under. If I was using logic, I would definitely smash this under, but we don't do that here. It's also a nice thing, just throw one of those parlays, and if it hits, it feels like a really nice, easy leg.
For what it's worth, Klay Thompson over half a steal right now at BetMGM, minus 160 towards the over. So we are getting some value on the juice here at a flat number. Mm-hmm. All right, last one on the board before we head out of here. Marcus Smart, total assist, 5.5. What are you thinking?
Yeah, this is very much juiced. A lot of the Celtics player props are juiced on the unders. He's another one that, just like I'm probably going to be looking more at the combos, like what is his points, rebounds, and assists, and if that number makes me feel a little bit more comfortable than this. Last 5 averaging 6.2, which is also his playoff average. He's been pretty consistent with this. I hate Marcus Smart. I'm mad that I even have to use him in Daily Dozen. I will not be putting him in any of my parlays. When playing Warriors, he's averaging 8. I'm going to take the over here because I'm going to go off the narrative that he's more involved, and he's as involved as they need him, because I do think he is a big piece to the Celtics and whatever success they do have.
So I came into this when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, I'm definitely taking the under here. There's no chance that I'm taking Marcus Smart on the over of 6.
No.
Then I started looking around at some research. So Marcus Smart, 5.5, minus 140 towards the over right now. So I'm already trying to lead into the juice a little bit. Then I go back and look at his stats from this season against the Warriors. 8 assists and 8 assists. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to do with that information? I have to bet the over. It stinks. I don't want to root for it. I'm with you. Screw Marcus Smart in this situation.
I can't stand him.
What are we going to do? We want to make some money.
You can't. You got it. You can't. You got to. And I know I probably, against my will, put him in one of my parlays last night when I was half asleep. So, and then I'll probably complain on the show tomorrow that Marcus Smart broke my heart again, and it is what it is.
Hey, all right. So here's the deal with, so you have until 5 p.m. We changed the time. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, because the game starts at 6 o'clock. You have until then to enter the Daily Dozen contest. If you follow all of the rules on Instagram and enter the Daily Dozen contest, you will be automatically entered to win this Giannis jersey. We will probably announce it sometime during the game or right after the game, as soon as we know who our Daily Dozen champion is for NBA Finals Game 1. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, MLB props, and then every other day, it looks like, with the NBA Finals, we'll be back here. Hopefully we'll have some more giveaways. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to gamble on the NBA Finals.
So excited.
Head to our Discord for all of our bets for tonight. All of Smalls' golf bets. I know we got a ton of them. It's going right now.
It looks good. No one say anything. I had to walk away because I'm in a good spot, and I'm like, this is one of those weekends, I said it yesterday on the show, that I feel really good. Day 1 looks nice, and then it all comes crashing and burning. So I hope that that's not what happens. I've been on a hot streak with golf, so it does have to come to an end. But a lot of really good sports action that I'm very excited about these next couple of days.
We can't wait. All right. So until then, until we talk to you next time, good luck on all your bets. Enter the Daily Dozen, and we will talk to you soon. See ya.
See ya.